Hello flower friends! Most florists think that you need to use floral foam if you're designing in any sort of wood box, but that's not true. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a foam-free wood box design with materials and mechanics that you probably have in your kitchen. I'm Ellen Frost, florist and founder of Flower More, an online community where flower farmers, designers, and hobbyists strengthen their design and business skills. Subscribe to my free weekly newsletter, Flower Nerd, by clicking the link in the description. So let's get started. I know that most florists think that you need floral foam if you're working with wood boxes. Wood boxes are a really popular vessel for centerpieces, but obviously they're wood, so they're not waterproof. Most wood boxes that you'll find at like a hobby store or an art store or a wholesaler actually come with this plastic insert inside of it, designed to hold floral foam. This is an easy alternative. So I'm going to take out this plastic. The plastic doesn't even help because oftentimes it's cracked or it has holes in it and water seeps out of it. So it's not really even that useful. So I'm going to get rid of this, and instead I'm going to use something that is sustainable and reusable. My favorite alternative for long, low wood boxes like this are just kitchen jam jars. These are the perfect alternative. They're reusable, they're sustainable, and they fit perfectly in a wood box. So this is a small jam jar. You can get this at the grocery store or at a hardware store. And I like to use 4 of them inside my box. And you can see that they fit just perfectly in there. So I'm going to fill each of these jars about halfway to 2/3 of the way full of water. They are small jars, so I want to make sure that my flowers have plenty of water to drink up. Now we're ready to design. So the first step I use is foliage. And one thing I'm going to make sure when I'm placing my foliage in these small jars is that I don't place the foliage in between the jars into the wood box without a water source. That's the only thing you have to really be careful of when you're designing in jars like this, is that you really make sure that all of your pieces are inside the jars. Now I'm using scented geranium today. This is one of my favorite foliages. It's so fragrant and awesome, and there's so many different kinds. Actually, the farmer who gave us these told me that she is growing about 40 different kinds of geranium this year, all kinds of unique, interesting designs. So these are, this is ginger that we're using today, and also rose scented geranium. And I'm cutting these down pretty short. The good thing about a wood box like this is that it's great for short stems. So I'm just cleaning off all of my stems. And right now, I'm not being too particular about where I'm placing the stems. I mostly want to get some coverage for covering my mechanics. And also, I want to figure out the shape of my design. So I'm going to keep it pretty low, but pretty natural. I'm also going to save a few pieces of foliage, geranium, for the end, and I'll show you why once we get there. So now that I've got my geranium in, I'm going to use a few pieces of short eucalyptus. So this time of year, we're coming to the end of winter, beginning of spring, and some of the things that we're using are still pretty short. And so this is a perfect design when you have a lot of short pieces. So I'm going to use some of this eucalyptus in here. Everybody loves eucalyptus. Again, also fragrant, very herbal, very soothing. So this arrangement really is going to speak to early spring. All right, so the next element that I'm going to use are line flowers. And today I have snapdragons. Now this might seem crazy. This is a really tall line flower. And I often have people ask, how do you use such a tall stem in such a short design? One thing is not being afraid to cut things down. So I'm going to cut my stems pretty short, but the role of a line flower is to stay tall in the arrangement and to guide your eye into the arrangement where you have focal flowers. So I'm not going to cut them too short. They're going to be above the foliage. And these snapdragons, I'll show you something about them. Snapdragons bloom from the bottom up, so oftentimes our growers will harvest them when the bottom flowers are open and the top flowers are not yet open. And you may or may not like this look where you have a lot of unbloomed little flowers. So you can't really just chop off the top, because like if you just chop it off like this, it looks really unfinished and unprofessional. What you want to do is go right along the edge of the stem and do an angle cut that just is in line with the blooms and really hides the cut. And that way you can cut off the top a little bit and showcase more of these flowers. Now you may like this look, like this one here has a really cool shape, and I'm just going to leave it because I kind of like how that looks. Now I have one other line flower that I'm going to use today. This is stock, so this is an early spring line flower. It's in the cabbage family. It's very fragrant. It has almost a cinnamony, spicy scent. And I love this like really rich purple, especially when we're so starved for color at the end of the winter. So I'm going to make sure that my stem is nice and clean, and I'm going to add it just the same way I did for the snaps, leaving them kind of tall. And I'm also going to cut a few of them short to give some color on the center line of my design. I have one more line flower I want to add. These are bells of Ireland. They are so special. I just love them, and I feel like we don't get them very often locally. And whenever we do, I get excited to use them. So I want to show you how I'm going to use them. I've taken off all of the leaves already. When these come in to us, they are covered in leaves so that you can't even see the little bells. I've taken all of those leaves off already. And they always have very curvy, fun stems, which I want to highlight. And in the spring, these bells of Ireland are perfect because they really add like a pop of green color. All right, so I have a really good base. Now I'm gonna start putting in my focal flowers. Today I'm gonna be using tulips, and I have some really gorgeous, beautiful, big tulips. I'm gonna use some of these, and I also have a little fringed one that I'm gonna use. And like I said, wood boxes like this are perfect if you have short stems that you need to use in a design, but you don't have even a short stem like this short. This can always just get tucked in right on the side. As long as it's in water, it'll work. All right, so I'm gonna use this other little short fringe tulip. Fringe tulips are so special. If you are buying tulips locally, you are going to get so many more unique varieties than you will ever see in a grocery store or even from the wholesaler. That's one of the real benefits of buying local, is that you are going to get really interesting, really unique styles and varieties. And I know that there are people that say that they don't like tulips. And I think that's because they think that they're standard or boring or basic, but I really believe that they have not seen tulips like these local tulips. When you see these fringed, they almost look like they've had like a little fringe cutter at the edge of them. They're just beautiful. And these are also doubles, so they have a really, like lush feel to them. And again, I'm making sure that I'm getting all my stems in water. And you can see that these were pretty short. Usually I say that 12 inches is about the minimum that you want to buy tulips from a grower. But sometimes a grower will say, I have some shorties, they're reduced price. Do you want them? And if I have something low that I'm making, some low box like this, or bud vases or something short, then I definitely will snatch them up and use them. They are perfect for this style design. Next, I'm going to put in what I call a secondary focal, and I've got two of those today. One is an anemone, and anemones are fantastic spring flowers. They come in a ton of different colors. This is, I think, what you would think is the classic sort of blue. That's what farmers call it, blue. It's a little purpley blue, and it has this beautiful navy blue center. And when this opens, the center is going to be really navy and velvety and beautiful. And so I'm going to add these in. Sometimes this time of year, our focal flower is, similar to our secondary focals, because a lot of the spring flowers have similar size blooms. So tulips, anemones, ranunculus, a lot of them have similar size blooms. So today I'm going to say that the tulips are the focal, and by that I mean that they are the thing that are really attractive. And I've used the most of those, and I'm going to use the anemones as the secondary, and I'm just going to put a few of these in. That goes for my other secondary focal, which is ranunculus. These are our first ranunculus of the season, and they are just starting to open. So when ranunculus comes in, it comes in very small, very tight, and then it opens into a big, fluffy, beautiful bloom. Sometimes ranunculus can have up to 130 petals, if you can believe that. So I'm just making sure as my design gets more full, that as I put my stems in, they are hitting the water. All right, I've got two last pieces that I want to put in. One is some daffodils, and these are our first daffodils of the season. These are specialty daffodils. You can see that they are two-toned. And when I'm using daffodils, the first thing I want to do is take off their little paper hood right here. You can either peel it back with your hand or cut it with your clippers, but I always like to take that off. I don't love how daffodils look with them on. One last element that I want to put in is really my bits and pieces. Now, this is butterfly ranunculus. It is a gorgeous flower. If you haven't seen one in person, they are not as accessible as regular ranunculus are, but whenever we have them, I love to use them. You can see they have really long stems and a lot of side shoots. And the great thing about butterfly ranunculus is that each one of these side shoots will continue to open and bloom. So for a short arrangement like this, what I'm going to do is cut off these side shoots, and I'm going to use those separately in my design. This one I think I'm going to leave on and let it open in the vase. Butterfly ranunculus is in the same family as regular ranunculus, but they have really different shapes and really different uses. Regular ranunculus is really more of a focal. You can see the difference right here. Regular ranunculus is more of a focal, where butterfly ranunculus is more delicate, more whimsical, and it really acts as a bits and piece, something that has some movement and some interest, but not really a focal flower. Now that I have most of my flowers in, I want to do a double check, because using the jars inside my arrangement, I want to make sure that everything along the edge of my design is covered. I don't want you to see the jars. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of my foliage that I kept for the end. I'm going to cut it down really short, and I'm going to tuck it in just like this, so that the edge starts to soften and that it covers up those jars. I don't want to see those jars at all. I want it to be really just a smooth transition from flowers to the box. One thing I want to say too, now that I have my foliage covering the edge, I want to go back and put just one or two more blooms in so that it doesn't have such a green line here. I want to make sure that it feels like a natural transition between the flowers, the foliage, and the box. So I'm going to put a couple more tulips in just at the bottom here. All right, so I've finished this edge. I've covered up with my little pieces of foliage. I've added a couple more blooms. There you have it, a finished wood box design without using any floral foam, using sustainable mechanics that you have right in your own kitchen. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel and check out my free flower newsletter, Flower Nerd. The link is in the description.